I know that I had escaped, and he started to run me down with a gun, and the guy kept telling me to run, 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 and kept leading me, and I continued to run, run, run.
Wagwan, my suburbs and my subdons, big up on a nice clean self. And to the newbies here, welcome to the channel. It's the Barber with another update. So people, Amari chose to tell a story about the time that she visited the Tuff Gong studio, and after she leave the studio, she got kidnapped and raped. And I want you all to listen to the story very keenly. Now she's saying that after the movie, the Bob Marley movie, the One Love movie, after it has been released, it brought memories to her, so she chose to share her story about that time she visited the studio. Now I can admit that the timing is very much off. The timing is wrong. If Amari had came way before all of this news surrounding the Bob Marley name, probably a lot of people would have believed and gave it somewhat of an attention. But knowing that this Bob Marley name is hot right now, and she chose to tell the story, a lot of people is gonna take it for a joke, and people are not going to pay it no mind. They're just gonna say Amari is lying. But I have listened to the story, and some part of the story somewhat don't make any sense, because at the end of the day, she said that she was 12 years old, and she and her friend came to Kingston to visit the studio so she can do a song at the studio. And I'm saying to myself, you're a 12-year-old, where do you gather money to come to Kingston at such an age to visit a studio? Where were your parents? So somewhat of the story is kind of like, that don't really make no sense. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one that's going to judge and say, oh, a lie she tell. But people are really having mixed reaction about the timing. Here is my thing, people. So I've been reading a lot of the comments on the video, and people is saying that Amari is working for a lawsuit, and I somewhat believe that she is, because look at this. If you got raped leaving the studio, you didn't have to mention Bob Marley name or Ziggy Marley name. You could have tell the story without creating the narrative that it's Bob Marley and Ziggy Marley fault, because that's apparently how you making it seems as if it's their fault and they have something to do with it. If you're going to tell your story, you could have tell the story and don't mention their name. But because their name is at, I guess Amari is just using their name. People, I don't really know, just listen to the video and give your opinion in the comments.
Me at Tuff Gong studio, which is Bob Marley studio. I was only, I remember just passing my common entrance examination in Jamaica. So I must have been about 12, because I remember passing my common entrance examination at 12 years old. So, I'll try to remember as much as I can. But I wrote my first song when I was 10 years old, The Ghetto Child, and I wanted to record it. So, I came from a middle-class family, and I managed to, find out what it is to become a singer, how much money I would need and everything. Before I released Ghetto Child at Dynamic Sound Studio, I first went to Tuff Gong studio to get the song recorded. I don't remember everything, but I remember meeting Ziggy Marley, going into his office and everything. He was such, nice person, and everything was cool. And then I don't remember much in regards to that day because it was so exciting meeting Bob Marley's son. And, you know, he was like mixed with white, you know, and had nice hair, very handsome man, and very nice personality and everything. So, you know, it pushed me even more to record the song, to become this singer. And so, got my money together and everything. But I don't remember having the money on that particular day. But I remember going to Kingston, me and my best friend Sybil. And we went to the security guard, you know, for him to let us in to continue discussing the recording of the music. The security guard told me that, you know, Bob Marley, you know, was not there at the moment, you know. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait for him. So this is what I remember. I remember sitting like under a tree, but I remember sitting across from the studio and the security guard right there looking at me the whole time. And I remembered Ziggy, all, you know, the Marleys in and out, you know, of the Tuff Gong studio, driving their bougie car and everything, seeing the little girl sitting by the roadside, you know, just passing in front of their studio, because it's not like there is another building close by. And it's not like I'm blaming the Marleys outright, but I just wanted their sympathy because everything started right at their facility. So, you know, I sat, I waited, little girl waiting for Bob Marley to come. And then I saw that night was coming down. So I went to the security guard and I said, you know, we've been here for a long time. Night is coming down. So, you know, when is Bob Marley coming? And he said that it's not going to be till another 6 months. So I said, 6 months? You know, so you knew all this time that Bob Marley not coming until 6 months, and you had me sitting here the whole time waiting for Bob Marley? Excuse me, Desi. I don't like to talk and people walking back and forth. No. So I said that, you know, why didn't you tell me earlier that Bob Marley is gone for 6 months? You had me sit there waiting for Bob Marley. And by now we don't know what to do because he told me that there are no vehicles running anymore, you know, to take me anywhere, you know. So I'm unable to go back home. I don't know where to go and sleep. I don't know what to do. So the security guard gave me a name and an address and told me that I should go to the address and, you know, everything will be okay, that I will be able to stay at that particular place and not to worry about anything. So we had no choice, me and Sybil. So we took the address information and he told me where to walk. I remember walking and it wasn't far from the studio. I remember walking and then seeing this big house. And, you know, we knocked at the gate. Excuse me, the cat needs to go outside. I remember knocking at the gate and shouting, anybody home? Anybody home? And then someone came to the gate And I told him that the security guard from Tuff Gong studio sent me there and said that, we could stay there for the night and everything. And he said, sure, not a problem. So we went inside. It was a huge house, beautiful house. So we felt secure. We felt all right. They asked us if we needed anything to eat, made sure we ate. I remember another guy being there, asked us if we ate, but we felt like we were in good hands, because in your mind, in your little mind, oh, you went to Bob Marley studio and it's a security guard from Bob Marley studio and he sent us to this big house. I did not know that incident would change my whole life. It's like during the night, the man tried to make advances at me, 12 years old. And, I was like, no, what are you doing? You get me? But I remember getting up the next day and saying to Sybil, come on, let's go home. And Sybil comes from a very poor family. So she just was excited about being in the big house and she just wanted to eat. And so she didn't care about going home. I wanted to go home. And the man was like, he will drop us home, so to hold on. Night come down again, same thing. The man don't drop us home or anything, and we're still there. The advances got worse, where I was raped continuously, over and over and over again. I told Sybil what was happening to me, and, she showed no interest in escaping. I don't know if anybody was bothering her, but it was just me because I was the little pretty one, and honestly, she wasn't that good looking. She had nothing to worry about. Nobody was messing with her. It was me, Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've never been sexed so often in all my life. In all my life, over and over and over and over again. And one day turned to 1 week turned to a month turned to 2 months, to 3 months, to 4 months, to 5 months, to 6 months, to 7 months, to 8 months, to 9 months, to 10 months, to 11 months, to 12 months. I was not allowed to go home. I was not allowed to go to the gate. I was barricaded in with burglar bars and padlocks. I wasn't allowed to go to the corner store. I was allowed to go nowhere. Nowhere. I wasn't allowed to see anyone. The furthest that we ever went was when he put us in a car and he would drive to a friend's house that they would smoke weed together. And that's the furthest that I ever went. I remember one day the individual took a journey to Ocherias, and we had to pass through Geysil St. Mary, where I was from. And what they did during that time was put my head down when I was passing my community and kept my head down until we got through that community. So imagine you're passing home. You know that Your grandmother often sit at the window, and you know that your grandpa may be on the veranda, but you're passing, and they don't know that you're passing by because your head is held down, until you pass your community. So it went on for over a year, 1 year in captivity, just for wanting to be a singer and hearing so much about Bob Marley studio, and venturing for my dreams to come true. And trust me, my dreams eventually came true with a studio down the road called Dynamic Sound Studio, where no one disrespected me, and they all got to work, recorded my song Ghetto Child, and also recorded Needing You. So I want to know, why was the Bob Marley studio not safe, where they basically set me up and sent me to a facility where I was raped over and over and kidnapped for over a year? How did I escape? I prayed continuously, and then one day when he went to the area where he always chill and smoke, I went to the gate and I saw some people passing by, and something say I should tell them what's going on. And I say, can you help me? I've been kidnapped for over a year, and I want to go to school, and I want to go home to my grandmother. I remember saying those words because I love school and I miss school. I was a student of St. Mary High School in Highgate, St. Mary. And there was a young man in the group, and he said, I'm going to come back this way and I'm going to whistle. And when I whistle, I want you to run, and I will tell you where to run to. So I went back inside, and then I heard the whistle, and I said to Sybil, Sybil, I'm going to run away, and you might as well come, because I can't live this way no more. And so I went outside. The man was like high and everything, and I went outside, and he told me to run that way. And so I ran, and there was a fence, like a wall, and he told me to jump. And I remember, I don't know how I did it, but I remember scaling the fence, jumping over the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, I jumped into a yard with so many dogs. And I remember running for my life and having to jump another fence. And I could only been saved by Jesus Christ. I jumped over the other fence, and that's how I ended up with this mark right here on my feet that is now a tattoo right down here. These marks have to do with when I jumped the fence. I covered that mark now with roses. And so I jumped over the next fence, and he realized by now that I had escaped, and he started to run me down with a GUN, and the guy kept telling me to run, and kept leading me, and I continued to run. For whatever reason, whenever I go to Grandspan, where Gully Bop is from, there is an area there that reminds me of where I ran. Because it's like this area that is called the Gully, I'm so familiar with that area. Because I remember being on one side of the gully and the man on the other side, and he was saying that he's going to KILL me. And I remember that's when I was bold, because I figured to myself that a bullet cannot travel that far. And that's when I cursed him out and told him that he can't do me nothing. And then I continued running. And the guy led me to a yard with a huge gate. He opened the gate and we all went inside. And then, luckily, he told me to hide in the bushes. So I hid in the bushes. Luckily, we didn't go straight inside the house, because shortly after I was in the bushes, the men came, beat down the door, and they were like, "Where's she at? Where's she at?" And the lady was like, "What are you talking about?" And they said, I remember they even said, "This girl, she's good looking, brown skin," although I ain't that brown skin. They was like, "She's brown skin. Did she come here?" And the lady say, "I don't know what you talking about." They went through our house, our daughters and all that, but they wanted me. And the lady said, "I don't know what you're talking about. No girl is here." And I'm in the bushes and I'm going shaking, ants biting me and everything. And I'm like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. You get what I'm saying? Shaking like a leaf, you know? And the men walked around and everything. Excuse me if I kind of lose it every now and then, because this is traumatic. The men walked around and everything, and they were there for at least, I would say, less than 45 minutes. And they eventually left. But I still could not leave, you know, from the bushes, because I felt like they would still come back. But I remember eventually going in the house, sleeping in the bed, and worrying that they were going to come back to hurt me.
So boy people, Amari really does have a thing against the Marleys. Before this video, the one that I screen recorded before this one, she was literally saying, what have they done for the community? What have they done for Jamaica? Amari saying that she wants to hear that the movie that they made about Bob Marley, she wants to hear that they have donated somewhat of the money to Jamaica to help to uplift the youths, and nothing is not wrong with the statement. Because the mere fact is, we have never seen Ziggy Marley or none of them in the country doing something, whether it's been creating a foundation for kids or donating to charity or nothing of that sort. We have never, probably they do it because it's a lot of people who have done charity works in Jamaica and they don't broadcast it. A lot of people do things genuinely from their heart and don't share it on the media. We have never heard about it, and I'm not saying it hasn't been done. But Amari sounds as if she has something against them pertaining to what happened to her when she was 12 years old. As I said before, she could have done the story to create awareness about being kidnapped and being raped. She didn't have to call their name because obviously they don't have nothing to do with it. The timing is very much wrong also. No, Amari always come and tell a lot of stories, and to be honest, we don't know if it is fiction that she creates in her head or if it is true. We don't know, but she comes and she tells a lot of stories. I don't know how to feel about this one. This one kind of rubbed me in the wrong way, because at the end of the day, you're 12 years old, you're missing and blah blah blah. We haven't heard you said your parents came to look for you or they put out a missing report or nothing. We don't hear nothing about that. We just hear say you did missing and this and that and that and that. I guess I feel like pieces of the puzzle is not matching. A lot of the story is not complete. Let's just say the story is not complete. It's not complete. Anyways, people, if you have made it to the end of the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. See you in the next video. Bye.